Guys, one more thing I want to read to you about the Ten Commandments. Now, you know, Moses wrote, this is the beginning, the writing of the Torah. All of this that we're going through, and there were 3 feasts. There's a feast for the springtime. I forget the name of it. I'm going to go over you about the 3 feasts. But now let me read to you Exodus 20, and this is where we're going to end it. It says, "And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." This is Exodus 20. God expresses the essence of the Old Testament law in 10 principal statements in chapter 19. We learned that the giving of the law is directly related to Israel's calling to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Okay, they were to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. This all means something, guys, because in the book of Exodus, this is when the church was established. But it wasn't established like it is today in the New Testament. The church age actually started in the New Testament. But all of the various ceremonial type things, a lot of those things started back in the Old Testament. The laws about different things in the church, for instance, the tabernacle and where they put special things, your offering and your altars. All of these things started all the way back in Exodus. Like he said, build an altar unto me and sacrifice unto me. But they would sacrifice, you know, what they had, which was food or things like that, or oils. But we sacrificed the money. You sacrifice your time. You know, you sacrifice food if you're giving of something to different, you know, during the holidays to give food offering. But a lot of ritualistic things in the church began back all the way back in the book of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. A lot of the things that you see in the church nowadays. But the church age was established in the New Testament. And but here you see they established priesthood. And he said, put somebody up under you, you know, like the elders in charge, and then the men that are up under them. Some of these things were already set up, but they didn't have a name for it until they got over into the New Testament. You know, they didn't have a name, so to speak. These are just things that sort of an outline. And then everybody, when you got into the New Testament, falls up under all of these same rituals. And number 3 says, thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and shew mercy unto those of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, like doing cursing and stuff. That's taking God's name in vain. The Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. And see, we go to church, we consider ourselves on the 7th day. So that came from all the way back in Exodus. 6 days you work, the 7th you rest. But the 7th is the Sabbath day. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in it, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is in his neighbor's, that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make me God of silver. You shall not make with me gods of silver. Neither shall ye make unto gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereof thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, and in all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto my altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Amen. So he don't want people, he wants the altar to be built lowly on stable ground so that anybody can come right down to the altar and get down there and pray, kneel and pray, and that his presence will be in that house. So, the Jewish people celebrate 3 festivals. It's a festival they celebrate because they were out in the wilderness in the tents for 40 days. I think it's called a tent festival, or the booth festivals, the booths that they were living in, or something like that. They also celebrate the coming of springtime. And then there's one more. They celebrate coming out of the land of Egypt, away from under bondage. But I'm going to get the names of these festivals because they celebrate these 3 festivals. And the Passover, it's called the Passover. Guys, it's called the Passover. The Passover festival, the Festival of Booths, and it's one more, the grain festival, I think it is, the grain harvest. And these 3 festivals, they have 3 names, but I can't think of the names offhand. They have 3 Jewish names. One of them is a festival regarding the coming of spring, new beginnings, the coming of spring. Anyway, I'm going to look those festival names up for you. And Easter has nothing to do with them going out there to worship 3 days in the wilderness. Easter has nothing to do with that because they were out there for 40 years. They were not out there for 3 days. In the New Testament, which is what I'm going to give you the outline of as well, I'm going to give you 2 outlines. One of the Old, and we're going to study the law starting in August, September, and October because the Jewish New Year is in September. So we're going to start studying all of the laws. We're going to pick up with Moses 21 and go on through the Old Testament. Then we're going to go and land on Revelations at the end of the year. So we're going to do something. We're going to do the New Testament, but we're not going to do Revelations. I'm sorry that I'm skipping around with you guys, but I have to get the things lined up in order. So in August, we're going to come back over here and hit the law again and do a review of all of this that we spoke of right here in August. But starting Monday next week, we're going to be reading the New Testament reading. I'm going to bring you an outline here before the week is out of what we read here and what my New Testament reading is going to look like. We're going to go all the way through the New Testament, but we're not going to do Revelation. We're going to do Revelations in December. We're going to come back over here in the fall and pick up the law, which is going to be a really long study. So we're going to pick up the law. It's going to be the end of August, September, October, and November. It's going to be 4 months. After that 4 months of studying in the law, which is the Old Testament, then about mid-December, I'm going to do a couple of chapters of different kings and things like that in December. And then, mid-November, I'm going to do some things on the study of David and Solomon. And then December, we're going to do Revelation. So we're going to be done. It's going to take us 10 months. But we're going to be sort of back and forth with it. So I'm going to give you an outline. Probably won't be to Wednesday. It'll be what we read here. And then it'll be the New Testament. And then I'm going to add in there August and September. We're coming back over here to Exodus. Then we're going to hit some of these kings. And then December, we're going to do Revelations. The end of the year, we're going to do Revelations. And the end of the year Revelation, that's going to take us into January. Okay? And that's going to be my study of the Bible with you guys. So I hope you're following me along and you're getting something out of it. It's something else I had to tell you about, but I just slipped my mind. So anyway, Wednesday I'm going to give you the outline of what we've studied, what we're going to study, and talk to you on Wednesday. Other than that, have a good day. Stay dry. It's going to be raining out. Bye-bye.